Namaskar, Mr. Sri Krishna Kulkarni, Mr. Saval Bhattacharya, governing body member, distinguished faculty member, alum of IIM Kolkata, ladies and gentlemen. When I passed out in 67 from IIM Ahmedabad, the CTC used to be around 10 to 12,000 rupees per year. So I thought it's not enough to make life better. So I decided to do my MBA again because those days IIM Ahmedabad degree was not recognized. So I applied for admission and I gave the application to my dean, Dr. B.L. Mote, and he didn't recommend it. He said, if people like you leave this country, who will create jobs? I didn't teach you to go to USA and work there. Since then, I never looked at USA for my career. Then I took another alternative to start my own enterprise, which will take care of all the stakeholders, government, shareholder, workers, employees, and society. And Tega was born out of that. I saw an advertisement in a mining magazine of Skega. Skega was owned by Wallenberg family in Sweden, which is like House of Tata. They control 40% stock exchange and 60% industrial labor force. The ad said that they assimilate three technology: mineral processing, mechanical engineering, and tribology. And then they give the solution to the mineral processing company to give them benefit of roughly about 10%. So it looked interesting, challenging, because this requires assimilation of three different technology, which is not easy to get or easy to create. The product was very challenging. I took it. Those days it required foreign collaboration. Maybe I'll wait for a minute. Those days, back in 1970s, it required foreign collaboration approval from Government of India. And that took only 5.5 years. You need to have perseverance to focus to achieve your goal. I didn't give up. I kept on and on and on till the government approved it after 5.5 years. The foundation was laid on 15th of February, and after 15 days, I met with a death-settling accident, and which kept me in the hospital for 6 months. But in spite of that, the motivated team we had, 24-year, 8 months and 9 days, they completed the plant in 9 months' time. When we started selling after the plant was complete, then we realized that there was a big gap between potential and convertible potential. I'd only read potential in the school in Ahmedabad, but convertible potential had never struck to me. When we started to sell, all our customers were public sector. They told they will not buy. I asked them why. He said, if I use and if it is good, my company will make profit, but I don't get any promotion. But if it fails, I will lose my job. So I will not take a chance. And the same people, when I was doing the survey for 5 years, they told, if you make it, it will sell like a hotcake. And they did not buy. In a country where the policy of promotion in the public sector was based on time, you cannot adopt anything new. It became almost simple. That is what we did not study carefully, what could happen. Company started bleeding. We had all the people in the company, plant, manufacturing, marketing, everything. My sales team used to travel 20 to 25 days in a month. At times, we used to sleep in railway retiring room because we ran out of money. But we never gave up because we believed in the product and in team and ourselves. We had 6 members, 2 were from IIM Ahmedabad, 1 from IIM Kolkata, 1 from Kharagpur, and 2 from Pilani. All mistakes that took place during that time, when we failed, I took it on myself. And we celebrated. We felt that any mistake that we have done, we have learned something new. We have acquired an asset, and we have to celebrate to make people feel good. And that's how we kept on going without people leaving the company. Well, my team told me one day, MM, don't worry, we will never leave the company. We will never leave the company. We will, even if we don't get the salary, we will stay till we turn around the company. And how did it happen? We had to eat together, we had to play together, we had to live together, and we never had to criticize each other. Professionalism and employee first was a religion in the company in 1970s until today. We have never delayed the salary of anybody for 1 hour. 30th the salary was paid even when the company was bankrupt. I sold my wife's jewelry, my LIC policy, my house, my car, everything that I had. But the salary was paid on 30th. So people had faith in me and the company. They told we will never give up. And they stayed on till the company was turned around. In the beginning, when you have a startup, you need to build a team where people trust you, trust your product, and you trust the team. Otherwise, things will become difficult. In 1977, our technical collaboration has expired. 97 with Tega. So we were allowed to export. So in 97, the Indian economy, especially the mining industry, was going through a very bad time. GDP was growing -1%. We used to get money from Raulkela, Hindustan Copper, not by check, by material. It was a barter deal. You supply me, I'll give you material. We have to sell in the market at 10% lower price and then realize the money. So we were always discounting 10% to survive. Then we thought we will start exporting outside India. We had two problems when we started to export. A, we were living in India on relationship. Maintain good relationship with the customer, take care of him. Nobody bothered about delivery or service. But if you go outside India, these things don't matter at all. In India, if I didn't meet the chairman of a government company, I would not get the order. But there, I've never seen a chairman of a company. The mine superintendent was more than enough. That also you could see him only once in a year. There we had to change the culture of the people. A good product, good engineering, good quality, good service, and proper delivery. So we had to hire different class of people who could meet that requirement. And there was a virtual war between the old people and the new people in the company. Old people told, we have worked hard. We have tried to maintain the company, and the new people are coming. They are enjoying life. So what we used to do, I had to send two people together for marketing outside India. Because older people had a good technical knowledge, but they were not good in communication. People working in Dhanbad, Bihar area, they started learning to eat khani, it would be difficult for them to continue to sell in US, Australia. So we started sending both. And in spite of that, we failed miserably. We could not sell. But we did not give up. We did not give up. So we thought by going and selling, we may not succeed. So we opened 3 branches in Australia, South Africa, and US. In Australia, we could not succeed because of racism. People gave appointment, but they did not meet. So happened in South Africa, all the purchasing managers were white. In USA, we found a man who cheated us. So when you are an unknown company, a small company, you don't get the best of the people. You get the worst of the people. And you have to learn to live with them. So we learn from our mistakes. Then what do I do? So when I was in South Africa, I had an appointment with the purchasing manager because the Speaker of the Assembly had become a good friend and he helped me to make the appointment, but they did not meet me. So instead of coming back to India, I went to England. So I knew that the Tega's sales in charge for Africa used to operate from London. I went and met him and I told him, what is your saving per month? He sold so much. I said, I'll guarantee in your account. Then rest of the expenses are mine. Boarding, living, club, car, transport, holiday, everything is mine. And I brought him to India. So I rang up my wife and told, I've hired a British man who's going to come in India and work for us. Those days the company's turnover was 30 crore around. She laughed. He said, your father made a mistake. He kept your name little too long, Madan. He should have made it shorter. We bought a Britisher. So I had two questions. A, his salary was 1/3 the salary of the whole company. If he fails, the company will die. Anyhow, the company will die because all the people we have trained, the Indian economy was -1% for the mining industry, so we knew it will not grow. And if we succeed, then we will fly. So I took a chance and I took a risk. So anything big you want to do, you have to take a risk. You cannot achieve without taking a risk. You have to take a risk. So I brought him. He worked with us for 3 years. He did a great job. But then we had to part with him because of some cultural issues. Then the people in the outside told, we want you to manufacture here because if there is a failure, what do we do? We need the supplies in 4 hours, 8 hours. So we started looking at other processes, but even to export to them, it became a problem because everybody wanted the material in 2 to 3 months. 2 months for the shipping time and 2 months for the manufacturing time. 4 to 5 months we required. So we started air freighting the material. Air freight cost was the value of the material. So every time we send the material outside India, it was free. So I did not want to stop sending the material or make them feel that I am not a supplier who can meet the delivery. And we took 1 year time to work out our logistics to see that how we can give it in 3 months' time. So we took the 1 year time to readjust our logistics to give in 3 years, and we air freighted the material. Then the question came that we have to manufacture, and those days when we expanded, we were growing 40% compounded, and we had tons of money. We didn't know what to do with the money. And when you have too much of money, that's very high risk for the company. Don't think you're a catch rich, so it is good. We had a high risk. We appointed a consultant to identify companies for us outside India. So they identified one in South Africa, one in Australia, and one in Chile. South Africa, we kept 2 owners of the company in the company for 3 years with their 10% equity, and we gave them 3-year time to transfer the knowledge, contact with the customer, and familiarize us. So there were many problems of technology, but then it managed. We got the money back in 2-year time. In Australia, also there were problems, but since the owner remained with us for 2 years, he helped us to get familiarized. But in Chile, the owner told he will sell 100% share. And there were 2 people who had 10% share, the operating director of the company. They sold it. After they sold their share, they had no interest in the company. No interest. In 2010, we bought the company, and by 2018, we lost 250 crore. What do I do? My aim was to be number 1 or number 2 in the world. 20% market is South America. If I wound up, I can never fulfill my dream. I remained there, I'm losing money. We were losing money, home to home, From Calcutta to our factory, we used to take 42 hours of flight. We did not know the language. We did not understand the culture. It was the biggest mistake of my life to acquire the company in 3 months' time. We were very bullish. You should never acquire a company in less than 2 years' time. You should flirt with them, live with them, study them. Then you should acquire the company, not in 3 months' time. It was the biggest mistake. But having done it, what do I do? So we were thinking, we are 250 people. We parted with 200 people. We came down to 50 people. And then in one of the conference, we met an innovator, R&D person. And I sold my dream to him. That you work with me, you innovate, and we will grow. Somehow he was able to believe me. He knew that the company has no money, company can't pay has difficulty in paying suppliers, but he still believed and he wanted to work for me. Then we required an investment of 50 crore in the R&D work. We had a board meeting to approve it because no banker was willing to give this money. The company was almost bankrupt in Chile. Indian bank told RBI, we will not allow you to send any more money to Chile. You have spent so much of money. So the only way was that I give my personal money. Any investment in the R&D is unpredictable, highly risky. When it will bring the return, one does not know. My board did not take that decision. And if I tell you the name of the people in the board, you will be surprised. Dheeraj Poddar, he was representing private equity, 2006 graduate from Ahmedabad. Dr. Jahar Saha, former director. Mr. Nerurkar, ex-managing director of Tata Steel. Mr. Rudy H., chairman of FL Smith. Myself, and they told, this is an entrepreneurial decision. You have failed there. You don't know the language. It takes 42 hours time. We will not take the decision. This is not a managerial decision. This is an entrepreneurial decision. You have to decide it. Then first time I realized in my life the difference in a manager and an entrepreneur. When such big people on the board, they refused to take the decision. I told them, give me 2 hours time, I'll come back. So we had a lunch and I came back after 2 hours. That's if I spend 50 crore, I will still have enough money to buy bread. And I invested in. And for my good luck, we came out with a product so good in 6 months' time. And then it became, and we started marketing the product. We built good reference. I started dreaming, the day will come, Chile will become head office and India will become a branch. It happened because we took the risk of investing that money. Then the problem was something else. Even during this time, many of my competitors were trying to knock at my door to sell the company to them. I did not. Then where, if I don't expand, I required about 250 crore to expand to meet the demand of the market. And I don't have the money. If I don't expand, somebody else will take the market. And in the meantime, larger companies were already attacking me to chew me up. And there was another problem. Elderly people in my company told me, sir, we had enough. We are doing reasonably well, making enough profit to live, and let us not take any more risk in Chile. We have lost money. We don't know the language. It takes 42 hours. We don't trust people. Why should we invest money? The younger people in the company told, no, we should be aggressive, we should spend and we should expand. The banker told, be cautious, you have lost money, we will not fund you much. My board said, be cautious, just because you have had success in the R&D doesn't mean that you will do well, because you still don't know the culture. And then came my wife. Can I take a decision without talking to her? Because it was she who saved the company. She gave her jewelry to save the company from bankruptcy. And she said no. You have not spent enough time with your children. They only know the mother, not the father. You have grandchildren. You are 78. Sit down and enjoy. What do I do? How many of married people will say no to their wife at the age of 78? How many? I didn't know what to do. I was in the boardroom as the chairman of the company, not husband of Manju Mohanka, not grandfather of my children, not chairman of the people. I have to take the decision for the longevity of the company, nothing else. If I can't take it, I should resign. Then I should resign. So the day I was going for the board meeting, my wife held my hand and said, "You will say no in the board meeting." And I did exactly opposite. I cleared the proposal for investment. Because there I'm only in charge for the company, nothing else. I have to look at the company only. And if I can't, then I should resign. We invested, we are doing well. We mobilized the money one way or the other. We had an IPO in 22 and we issued the share at 450. Now the share is running at about 1902 here from 450. We have a rule book in the company. We all go by SOP. But sometimes you may have to be ready to break the rule. I used to break the rule once in a while, but once I broke a rule where my HR manager was on war with me. We had an employee who had worked with us for 5 months. He was not a confirmed employee. Those days, if you were not confirmed, you were not entitled to many of the facilities in the company. I'm talking of 80. So he had worked with us for 5 months. He developed cancer, so we put him in the best hospital. His brothers came to me and told that, look, doctor says he will not live more than 10 days. You give us the money, what you will spend in the hospital, we will take him home. I said, no, let's wait, meet me tomorrow. And I sent some lady to his house to meet his wife. And she told that if you give the money, they will not spend on him and they will throw me out. So we stayed on, kept him in the hospital. He died. We trained his wife on the Singer sewing machine in Park Street and talked to her if she can run a tailoring shop. We spent 70,000 rupees to build a tailoring shop for her, educated her to run the tailoring shop. Got her a daughter, which was 3 months old, graduated, got her married, and then we gave up. So my man was saying, this is something which you have made the rule MM. How can you break it yourself? I said, ultimately we are human beings. We are not part of we are not robots. I have made the rule to run the company. The rules will not run me. We have to take it. And then he told, if tomorrow this happens, what will you do? I said, we will see what happens tomorrow. Till then, almost 45 years, I've never had another chance. I never had another chance to face that problem. If I had not done it, I would have felt bad in my life. So many a time, whenever we change the rule in the company, first we look at the humanity, empathy, and then we decide the rule. We just don't change the rule for economic reasons. Economic reasons are good, but we just don't change it only because of the economic reason. We look at the empathy, sympathy. people on the other side of the fence expect a lot from us. We are very well in our life, but the people, those who don't have a job, those who don't get their 2 meals together, they expect a lot from us. It is not only that we should run the company for profit, we should spend time and money both for upliftment of the underprivileged people as well, from the day one. As Gandhiji has said, we are not owner of the company, we are only custodian of the company. And from that philosophy, we should try to spend some part of the money on the underprivileged people. And this lesson I got from my father in '64 and from my teacher, Dr. Mote, when I passed out. Take care of it, take care of it. And we need to do, as we were discussing yesterday, our manufacturing contribution from the to GDP is about 14 to 16%. And unless this becomes 25%, economy will not be stable and we will not be able to create jobs. If we expect the government will create jobs for everybody, I think it is not right. We have to create ecosystem that we are able to create jobs for the underprivileged people. Make an ecosystem in a manner that we create infrastructure for creating mama-papa shop, like husband, wife, and the children will work on a small unit and produce and supply to big companies. That will create jobs. That will be easy to manage for us. At the end of the day, it is not enough just to succeed in business. You have the responsibility to give back to the country and to your alma mater and people who have helped you to achieve your dreams. They are the ones who have created you and the market for you. Mote sir told me, you give back to IIM. Well, I've been giving back to IIM. I created 15 case studies. Out of them, 7 have been accepted by Harvard Business School to teach. Recently, Mr. Forbes, chairman of the Forbes company, was interviewing me and he asked me, Mr. Mohanka, how did you build such a good company? I said, Mr. Forbes, I've never built a company. He said, what? I said, I've never built a company. I've nurtured the company as a third child. I've nurtured the company. So if you think that an organization you can build without nurturing, it will never grow. You have to nurture the company, each and everybody. Even if somebody is not good, I never sack him. I hold his hand, train him, walk with him, retrain him. And then tell him, yes, you will live in the company, but you will not grow. So the choice is yours. You want to change, you can change. I will help you to change. But we never sack anybody. Because I've seen people who have lost their job or who don't have job, how difficult the life is for them. I cannot let a man go through that pain. There are many new milestones to be captured by me. I'm 81 now. I've not given up. I've not given up my boots. And the possibilities that I see are endless for me. Sometimes my wife says, MM, don't worry, your dead body will also work. That is the true spirit of an entrepreneur. Thank you. আবার দেখা হবে. Yeah. Thank you. I have. I never gave up.
Madan sir, having gone through so many ups, downs,
Yeah.
lows, highs and lights, what are the personal things, personal traits that have kept you going? What are your self-disciplinary, motivating things?
Nothing is impossible. When I joined the Ahmedabad on the day one, they gave us 3 case studies. And one of the accounting case studies was 157 pages Galway series. So I was a student of engineering, so I went and met Dean. I've never done accounting, debit and credit, 157 page. You want me to discuss it tomorrow morning? Can you organize some tuition for me? He says, Madan, we throw you in the sea. We don't ask you whether you know swimming or not. You drown and die and get out of my room. So in 15 days' time, I was among the top 10 in the accounting. So I learned there is nothing impossible. If you try hard, you work hard, you will achieve.
That failure comes with success.
Yes. Failure is a part of process. I don't even consider it a failure. It's a process that one has to go through in life. We always learn from our, what people say, mistake. And we celebrate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mohanka, for such an inspiring speech. Your success story has left us with valuable takeaways and renewed enthusiasm. Thank you for showing us that we should never abandon our value system and never forget the human aspect while we are building our careers. I would now request Mrs. Rupa Mohanty to present the memento to Mr. Mohanka.